All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Kathryn Krick, you are a piece of shit. And today, guys, gonna talk about. I put a video up yesterday. Some of you have seen it, some of you haven't, because my channel is being shadow banned right now, 100%. And I put a video up yesterday. It's with this little girl reading from a fucking script of all this just weird shit, right? And you guys watch it and your own opinions, right? Everything I use here is fair use, and this is just for news reporting and opinions, right? But what's going on here is no doubt indoctrination into a full-blown cult, guys. Kathryn Krick is no doubt a cult, okay? I applied Stephen Hassan's bite model to Kathryn, and she's a full-blown cult. And the whole fivefold ministry is all a part of this new apostolic reformation. And seeing Kathryn do what she did the other day with that little girl, come up and read off of a fucking script. Kathryn, that is pretty unoriginal, if you ask me. That's really unoriginal. To have a girl that couldn't have been more than 10 years old come up and read off this script saying about like generational sexual sins and all this other shit, drugs and whatever the fuck. Kathryn, you are paving a path for these kids to have complete and total psychological problems for life, Kathryn, and you just don't give a fuck. And I'm going to get to a comment here. Back in a Jiffy, you know who you are. And I spoke with Back in a Jiffy offline. And I had a really good conversation with him. He's very aware of the tactics used in these abusive cults. His comment, "This is complete madness. No child should be subjected to this abuse. To read out written lies is on a level I've never witnessed in my life." Same here. I've never seen shit like that in my life. And this is what's very perplexing is these people are doing this right out in the open, guys. How has nobody picked up on this? Said, time out. I'm going to read the thread here. I'll actually pin it. I'll pin the thread if you guys want to read it too. Let's see here. So it's Back in a Jiffy. Dang it, I'm having a hard time getting a reply here. Give me a second. He brought up a good point, though. Okay, here we go. One of the several issues I try to point out, or I feel that should be addressed. Not like right now, today, not tomorrow or a couple days or a couple weeks down the road. Because look what happened with Warren Jeffs, right? The LDS guy. Fucking molesting all those little girls, marrying 12-year-old girls and shit like that. This is right up that line, guys. It really is. You got little kids like this doing this shit, being coached. That goes beyond manipulation. Back in a Jiffy replies, unbelievable for me to work with children or vulnerable adults, as you know my background. I went through checks after checks before I was certified with a certificate in Ireland, and we are extremely strict on these issues. He again says, and the thing I cannot understand is why don't social services shut this woman down? I mean, all this proof right in front of their very eyes. Absolutely, I'm with you there. We'll get to this. I would be demanding a reason from social services why they are not doing anything about her as a concerned citizen. This is why I'm here. I am a concerned citizen. These assholes are operating on social media. Where do we address the concern? Right where they're operating. Right where they're operating, right in their face. This is That was the original reason my channel was called Full Frontal Exposure. If they're going to operate on social media, we might as well destroy them on social media. Beat them at their own game. My channel is being actively shadow banned right now, guys, 100%. A lot of you guys aren't getting my notifications. I can tell by the numbers. My channel is being actively banned right now. I replied to Back in a Jiffy. Here in America, all you have to do is claim to be a prophet or an apostle, and it makes everything okay. It really does. All you have to do, claim to be a church or a prophet or an apostle, and you can just do all this fucked up shit. And they're like, oh, it's okay. You guys can go ahead and do it. You're the church because it's okay. You guys are prophets, and you guys don't do anything wrong. But no, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. The church is the curtain, right? And then you have all the people behind the curtain, which are the corrupt, the corrupt pastors and the corruption behind the curtain. That's why you see, and I would keep going, that's why you see a lot of these charlatans are doing this. They know the government are a bunch of sissies and will do nothing. It's pretty disgusting though, isn't it, right? And Back in a Jiffy, pretty much, it's more worrying. It really is. It's very worrying, and it's very concerning what we're seeing with Kathryn Krick. I think it is. When you have a kid get up there, Kathryn, and read from a fucking script, that just shows there's absolutely no originality with any of your content. You're doing these open air revivals. It's madness. Back in a Jiffy, you're 100%, man. It's complete and total madness what she's doing. Kid Frost, I swear people have gone mad. Who would do this to their child? Come on, this is 100% child abuse. I can agree with you there. Joe Gonzalez, 22. Kathryn has become a demigod. Let the children come to me. I want to free them too. Crick casting out generational curses. This is fucking weird, all right? You're right, Joe Gonzalez. This is straight out like witchcraft bullshit. At multiple events, scream scam. Benny Hinn figured this game out long ago, but at least he didn't use children. Yep, that's right. He just flung his jacket around and knocked people down. Kathryn Krick having children play her game is just shameful. Kathryn, you're doing some really sick shit. Wake up, parents. Come on, people. This is a farce, and Kathryn Krick needs to quit this. She will end up damaging families soon enough. She already is. I am no one. Bruh, she's reading a literal script. Yep. Manu, bloody hell. Fairly obvious that child did not write anything of what is on that paper. That shit is disturbing because that's a whole list of what kids don't think when they're at that age. Absolutely gross. I'll give you a like, but I don't really like the video. I didn't either. But Manu, this is, again, my channel is for news reporting, opinions, education, to educate these people about what's going on. Because we know, guys, that these are cults. We know that. We're doing the research on it. Houston Shelton. Somebody get that kid a blanket. I think they actually did, Houston Shelton. Caleb Sanders. This lady is more evil than David E. Taylor because her manipulation is far more nuanced and she's not ugly. Yeah. Caleb Sanders, this is a good point. This is a good point. She's not ugly. She's got a persona about herself where parents are more likely to just be like, here you go, here's my kids, you can do anything you want with them. Yeah, you can just fucking fuck them up mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever. You can do anything you want with them. Here you go, here they are. She's beautiful, she won't do anything, and she's an apostle and a prophet. Kathryn Krick is not an apostle. She is not a prophet. She is a lying, sociopathic, narcissistic, manipulating con artist. And she's using kids for her whole scam. Which is why I'm here to report all this, and that way everybody can see and make their own opinion about it. I know what I'm seeing, man. My eyes are wide fucking open. And I don't give a shit that people say, oh, it's the church and it's okay. Right? There's a way to do it, but you don't do this shit. You have kids read from a fucking script, okay? Tell me that shit ain't fucking scripted when you have a kid read off a fucking script, man. All right? That shit is scripted as fuck, Kathryn. That just shows. Chuck Wood. This is child abuse, 100%. Mental abuse. Run from people like Kathryn. All she has to offer is a show, a performance, a fiction to sell you. Just like David. A fiction to sell you, Chuck Wood said brilliantly. Thank you. Do not fall prey. And there are many like her, unfortunately. Yes, there are. It's almost like, Chuck Wood, I feel that Kathryn watched David's deposition and she was like, oh shit, I can take his place now. I mean, you look at her channel and it's like, how does that lady gain that many views? Like, she's got so many fucking views, dude. And I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how somebody could follow a lying sack of shit like Kathryn Krick. It's disgusting. I'll tell you. 676 videos, and she has 47 million views. Her channel is from 2011. Then she's got 2 other channels, the Fivefold Church and the 5F Worship. One's got 4 videos. The other one has 498. So she also is running a double scam on YouTube just like David is. Which makes sense because she's a fucking scam artist. But let's see here. Somebody said, James Smith, let's follow up with her in about 5 or 10 years. I don't think she'll be around in 5 or 10 years. Not with what I'm about to do. Maybe a few years. I'm not even going to have to touch you, Kathryn Krick. I'm just going to do everything right from here, just like I did David. Kathryn, you're not going to do this. This is bullshit. And for anybody, Kathryn, you're a public figure. You do realize that, right? You're operating under a church, so everything you have to have is public, right? Where you live, your finances, everything. You're saying you're traveling around the world on $45,000 a year on your W-2, and you live in Beverly Hills, you're fucking full of shit. I'm going to find out where your money's at, too. Just be prepared for that, okay? Don't think I won't dig, and don't think there's not resources here for me to find out everything about you. And I don't care if you find everything out about me either. Trust me, I've had death threats and cease and desist on this channel, so I don't really give a shit what you do or what you think. Okay, and then here's something on Kathryn Krick's community page too, right? And this looks like it's a letter from the mother of that little girl, Mary Ann Bufford. I guess that's the mother's name. As her mother, I was so excited to see God touch her and deliver her with the manifested presence of God on her life. When we adopted her, God said that there was a mantle of ministry that he placed over her and that we were raising an end-time revival minister. Sound culty? After she got up from laying on the ground as God was delivering her, she came back to looks like sit, but they spelled it wrong, to sit next to me, and her body was shaking for 45 minutes. I knew that God was doing deep work within her, and there is such a quaking within her body, and she was still crying. She told me she really felt God touch her, that there's such a joy that God has filled in her heart. We are so thankful for the ministry of the Lord. Sounds just like David. This is something that David would say. Mm-hmm. And anybody that wants to know where Kathryn's going to be, if she's going to be in your city, I'm not promoting her. There's no fucking way I'm promoting her. I'm just warning everybody about her. She does have something on her community page where it tells where she's going. Looks like she's going to be busy for about the next month. So yeah, guys, I just kind of wanted to throw up a short about that with the little girl fucking laying on the ground and shit. Like, who does that? Who does that? Why isn't our government out there fucking slapping the shit out of this lady, being like, dude, what the fuck? Not okay. Not okay. And what makes it worse, again, is that she's a woman. And I'm not sexist, guys. I'm just saying that she, again, what makes it more dangerous, right, is she's a female, and there's that maternal figure that people will just, they'll look past all the culty shit and, oh no, she's a woman, she won't do anything bad to my kid. But no. Kathryn, the people who scream the loudest to God are usually the farthest away from him. You know that, right? The people who scream the loudest. I remember hearing that from somewhere. I think maybe it was a show or something. I can't remember. Yeah, it was. I remember what show. I think it was the Tudors, I think. And Cardinal Wolsey, I like that show because it's very... a lot of things they say about the church are kind of true. And the one thing that I remember him saying in one of his like sayings in the show was, it's more often the man who screams the loudest to God is often the one that's the furthest away from him. So Kathryn, that's my opinion. That's what I believe. If you scream so loud to God, like you're like David, like you, same with you, Kathryn, and Benny Hinn, and Jesse Duplantis, and Kenneth Copeland. These guys are all the farthest away from God because they scream so loud to him. Anybody who screams out loud to God is no doubt why. Yeah. So think about that, Kathryn. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing to the kids. I will report you. I am reporting you. You're not going to do this, Kathryn. You're not going to bring these kids into your fucking bullshit 5F cult. And it is, guys. The 5F cult is part of the new apostolic reformation. It's all kind of falls in line with that. And Kathryn is no doubt taking little pieces of selected scripture, placing them like David does. And she's up there jumping up and down. Hallelujah, brothers and sisters. My actors have been healed. And anybody who thinks Kathryn doesn't have paid actors, they're paid actors, okay? They're for sure paid actors. And these paid actors go around to other places and do like these little healings. So, Kathryn, stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing before it gets worse for you. Before it gets out of control. I'm going to dig into your life, Kathryn. I'm going to dig into your life real deep, and I will expose you. So far, there's not really much on you. Not much on you. I got to trace the money. That's what I got to figure out. Where the money's coming from, how much you're paying in taxes, what your address is, all that stuff. Because that will kind of start telling me a lot. I mean, the fact that you have your W-2, what it says on your W-2 is that you make $45,000 a year. And I find that hard to believe. Kathryn does, but the church, who knows how much that makes. To figure that out still. But if you guys have any concerns about this, questions, comments, like I said, my channel is being actively banned right now. It's shadow banned, ghost banned, whatever you want to call it. It's everything banned right now. A lot of people aren't getting my notifications. And it's no doubt because people are starting to hear. There's a lot of channels out right now on YouTube that are exposing these false prophets and stuff, which is needed. It's needed. If they're going to come out and they say, oh, well, if we're gonna face repercussions of people because we're doing this, but you're gonna face repercussions because you guys are running a full-blown scam. You guys are taking it to the extreme. So we're gonna keep exposing you. And again, there's a lot of channels out there doing it. Some are going about it a different route. I'm going about this route because I think it's just better to call them out, man. Call out the lies. Call out what they're doing wrong. You guys know I'm not religious. I'm not here to preach the gospel or anything. I'm not here to sway anybody. I just want people to practice the right religion in the right way, man. Don't go to these shitty churches where you have these fake prophets like Kathryn Krick, David Taylor, Jesse, Benny Hinn, Copeland, and they're all over the place. They're all over the place. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Again, you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about Kathryn Krick, man? Leave them in the comment section. Let's start bringing some light to her, man. Let's start getting her a fan club like David had. A fan club for the wrong reason. Again, Kathryn, what you're doing with kids is it's very questionable. It's beyond questionable, really. It is beyond questionable what you're doing with kids. I don't know how nobody's... DPS or CPS or social services isn't sitting there in the crowd undercover or some shit, you know, watching you do this shit and just fucking taking notes, man. I don't know how anybody hasn't picked this up yet. This is my question. Especially when it's right here on social media. Why hasn't anybody said, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start watching this one? Why not? Again, we saw what happened with Waco. There were kids. LDS, there were kids with Jeff Warrens or Warren Jeffs, whatever his name is. The damage was already done by the time they arrested these assholes, too. You know, if you think about it, the damage was done. Especially with Warren Jeffs. The damage was done by the time they arrested him. Everybody stood back and said, no, it's okay. He can go ahead and marry off 12-year-old little girls, and it's okay. And finally, they go in and bust him after he's already married these girls and had kids with them. And people are still following him in jail. Shows how convoluted the system is, right? So yeah, guys, that's going to be it. Just want to throw up a quick short about Kathryn here. Similarities to David. They're both sociopath. They're both narcissists. They both need help. I mean, Kathryn Krick's going to try and carry on this life for who knows how long. But you guys have a good day. Stay happy, stay safe. Keep your families happy. Keep your families safe. And questions, comments, concerns, you guys leave them below, man. And I'll keep videos out like this and keep doing uploads and stuff. We'll not do lives for a little bit. So, again, you guys stay safe.